Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here and coming to our event. Happy National Drive Electric Week. And thank you for CRES for having this event, and CU Boulder for hosting it. I will go over today very briefly what Clean Cities does, what we do here in Colorado, and then just like Chris said, over some funding, specifically over in Colorado. So Clean Cities is a nonprofit. We were started by the Department of Energy in 1993. It has ballooned to over 100 different coalitions. There's 3 here in Colorado, one in Southern Colorado, Denver, and then I represent Northern Colorado, and that does include Boulder County, Fort Collins, Greeley. And really what we try to do, our goal, is to really advance the energy and economic environmental security of the United States. And we do that by supporting local actions to cut petroleum use in the transportation industry. So improving fuel economy, really supporting idle reduction campaigns, and then also supporting new technologies. All of this on that right-hand side is really what we focus on. We are fuel neutral. Our main goal is to decrease the amount of greenhouse gas emissions emitted. So we do this, really we provide local and national partnerships with unbiased information and educational sources. We do also have technical assistance. And then we also provide, really what we do best is provide information on funding or financial assistance. So within our local partnerships, we, like Chris said, we have fleet managers, we have fuel providers, manufacturers, industry and community leaders, all working towards our mission. So that's why we have our sign-up sheet. That's why we really love coming to these types of events here, so we can network and really understand what our needs are in our community. The technical assistance is provided through our network, from those experts in the field, but we also utilize engineers and scientists from our national laboratories. So NREL, the National Renewable Energy Lab in Golden, they have some great engineers there that will help at any step of your project, whether if you're just a consumer, local, or a public or private fleet. And we will go over briefly funding just after this, but just quickly, I do want to highlight that since 1993, we have helped get $400 million out there, and we're keeping that going. So really, again, that is really what we focus on, is helping you find that funding for your project. Where we get our unbiased information are really 2 websites. Fueleconomy.gov is the first website that I always go to. It's really consumer friendly. It's perhaps not as robust, but you'll still find there gas mileage. You can still compare cars, and then also gas savings, greenhouse gas savings. The other website, a lot more robust, I typically send fleet managers to this particular website, is the AFDC. You should have some handouts. There are some handouts at the front for this website. Within this, again, it does have gas mileage and savings, but it also has some other really important tools and items. The first thing is publications and case studies. So publications, our Clean Cities Now is really there to keep you up to date on what's happening in Colorado, in our community. Then we also have some case studies on plug-in electric vehicles. We actually have some information there. But this is really where all of that information will be housed. So when you're starting a project and you're looking at the feasibility, this is the best place to start. Some other tools when you do go onto this website that I also like to point out. First is the locator of all of the incentives, rebates, and laws that are within our community in Colorado, but also federally. This is really what I look at, after I go through the funding. Some other things as well, some other tools, vehicle cost calculator. This will help you with the total costs, the annual fuel use, operating costs. The others are a petroleum reduction planning tool. This is a really good tool if you're having more than one vehicle. So I usually help fleet managers utilize this tool. But again, these tools are really to support or to promote consumer confidence. And so again, this is what we do federally. This is what nationally, what Clean Cities provides. How we're connected locally is specifically through the Colorado Energy Office's program called Refuel Colorado. There's also some information out there if you'd like. But it's really the same mission as Clean Cities. It's to help fleets, communities, fuel providers, and dealerships convert to electric vehicles and alternative fuel vehicles. And so depending on your location, there are several refuel coaches. I will be representing the northern Colorado, but I'm not alone. There are plenty of refuel coaches out there to help you with your individual projects. And the funding levels, of course, are determined by your project. Within the Alt Fuels Colorado, again brought by the Colorado Energy Office and the Regional Air Quality Council, that's really focusing on the alternative fuel infrastructure and vehicles. And it's really any type of vehicle that we're really supporting within this particular program. With Charge Ahead, the one at the very bottom, that's specifically electric vehicles. And again, all of these two programs are for consumer vehicles all the way to heavy-duty fleets. There are, again, some other funding for transit buses, for mass transit. We do find that is a large contributor towards greenhouse gas emissions. Then at the very bottom, you'll see some additional funding for public fleets brought to you by the Department of Local Affairs. And so we also help local fleets convert to alternative fuel vehicles. And the last thing that I do cover, they're not necessarily rebates, but they do help with the total project cost, are tax credits. They're still available. They're up through 2022. So we use a combination, again, of rebates and tax incentives to lower that project cost. All of this information, rebate information, will be on the AFDC tool, but also on the Refuel Colorado website. So all of that information is towards the back. And all in all, so overall, all of these projects are really to help build a state and national corridor system. So this is what the Colorado Energy Office has put together. These are generally the corridors that we're wanting to focus on. So generally, when we talk to public fleets, we're really wanting to make sure that they're somewhere within those corridors. And that's really, again, to decrease the amount of range anxiety that we typically would see. So again, these are all information that's on the Colorado Energy website, the AFDC website, or the Refuel Colorado website as well. But if you all have any questions, my contact information will be towards the back, or you can give me a call and we can set up an advising session. But again, thank you all for coming out and celebrating National Drive Electric Week, and I'll go ahead and pass this back to Chris.